The following clip you're about to see is a small excerpt taken from my exclusive show on Rumble called Lies You Can Trust. It's fully uncensored because Rumble does freedom of speech. You can check it out live every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Central Time. But for now, enjoy this clip. Big question out there. Did JD Vance kill the Pope? He meets with the Pope, and 7 hours later, the Pope died. That's interesting. And did the Pope have a little bit of a shadow side? Was he nothing but a holy man of God? Or was there a little nefarious activity? Does it feel offensive to you that I'm even asking those questions? Great. So all that coming up right now, ladies and gentlemen. But first, in light of this, really important, coming straight out of the legacy media of the Babylon Bee, the Dalai Lama quietly cancels scheduled meeting with JD Vance. No report as to why, but the Dalai Lama is going to do what the Dalai Lama does. 7 hours before the Pope passes away, JD Vance meeting with him. I'll give you some commentary / really scholarly insight along the way. Let's take a look at this.
Pray for you every day.
Remind me to tell JD Vance never to pray for me.
Pray for you every day. Bless you. So good to see you.
Good
Morning. How are you? Find yourself. Yeah, thank you. I've not been feeling great, but it's good to see you in better health.
We do have to make the obvious comment that JD Vance may not be the best eye when it comes to assessing better health than not. The guy's in a wheelchair, he's not talking, and JD Vance is like, dude, you look better than ever. So you're in better health. This is amazing. I was going to do parkour. We could maybe play some pickleball later. And he just stares at him.
Thank you.
These are for your children.
Okay, thank you.
Right from the Pope, from a guy standing next to the Pope. So I've got some questions about that. Did JD Vance kill the Pope? It turns out not. A stroke killed the Pope. He was not in good health for a while and apparently had a stroke and succumbed to that. I don't know. Is that just a cover up? Imagine he did kill the Pope. This is a scene straight out of the Godfather movies. Look at this. And I'm actually not kidding here. Just imagine JD Vance works for the Corleone family. And the Pope is on their disappear list. He's going to have a meeting with him. This is exactly what someone working for the Corleone family would say.
Pray for you every day.
I pray for you every day. That is dark, JD Vance. If he were, kind of Godfather-esque, setting Pope up, that's exactly what the Godfather dudes would say. I mentioned, does the Pope potentially have a shadow side? It's a good question. Some people find that offensive to even ask, and I'm okay with that. I dare say if you're not willing to question it, you are protecting something that may not deserve to be protected. I realize the Pope is a figure of a major religion. Got that. Yet, just like the president is a figure of a nation, whether it's President Trump, pretend President Biden with the U.S., Netanyahu of Israel, we know there's a distinction. Oh, that head of state, is he possibly susceptible to corruption? Yes, he's a symbol of the nation, but does he actually represent the nation and all its people? And just like some people who like to get outraged one way or the other when you question the Israeli government and some of their shadow activity, they'll be like, you hate Jews. It's like, no, I hate corrupt government officials. So just like you have to draw a distinction between Netanyahu and Jewish people, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Just like Biden and Americans, not the same thing. It's very different. And Trump and Americans, that's not the same thing. Ideally, and I think Trump's doing a good job, pretty damn aligned with Americans. But drawing a distinction between the figurehead and what the figurehead is intended to represent is very important, because if you don't do that, if you don't draw that distinction, you just pretend the figurehead is in complete alignment with what the figurehead is meant to be in alignment with. Therefore, You can't possibly question corruption, ulterior motives, how they're not actually always being of service to the intended duty. And there we have the Pope and the Catholic Church, the Catholic religion. I will say the Catholic religion, not the Catholic Church. Even that's a distinction. There's distinction upon distinction in this case. I respect the Catholic faith. I was brought up in it. Yet the Pope is not the Catholic faith. The Pope is the figurehead of state representing the Catholic faith. Good to draw a distinction there. So that's just my preamble context for why I dare have the balls to bring it up. And some of you are like, yeah, why wouldn't you bring it up? Well, I am bringing it up, and some people will just want to be offended. And I would dare say, if you're a Catholic, you just think of it as you're an American. You have to have an open mind and question the head of state that represents you in the U.S. government office, whether it was President Biden or President Trump. If you're a Catholic and you're unwilling to question the holiness of the Pope, then I would dare say you're not open-minded, and that's okay. Well, it's your choice. It's okay, isn't for me to judge. We'll get back to the video in a second, but first, here's a random question for you. Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? Well, I recently saw a video he made, and I was shocked. Chuck Norris is in his 80s and still active and kicking butt like he's decades younger. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and still has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by making just one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s, and in fact, his wife was so impressed by this one thing, she started doing it too. She's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger, she's leaner, and has plenty of energy. Now, to unveil the mystery, Chuck Norris made a video that explains everything. Be sure to watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/JP or click the link in the video description below. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/JP or click the link in the video description below. You will not believe how simple it is. And hey, just a reminder, the legendary Chuck Norris is a whopping 84 years old, yet has more energy than most 40-year-olds, maybe even including me. And he discovered he can make dramatic changes to his health by focusing on just 3 things that typically sabotage people as they age. Watch Chuck Norris's method by clicking on the link in the description below or go to chuckdefense.com/JP. Now back to our video. I hear is the Pope getting, I don't know, does this look holy to you? Slapping the hand. That lady looks like she's not going to be a fan of the Pope too much longer. Pope Francis says gay children should get psychiatric treatment. Okay. Pope Francis, gender ideology is the ugliest danger of our time. I wouldn't disagree with that. However, the Pope decided that God decided to change his mind, and later on the Pope invited 100 transgenders to have lunch with him at the Vatican. It's transgender, so it's probably brunch, if we're being honest. Pope Francis urges people to get vaccinated, calling it an act of love. I do have to raise this question. Is that because the Pope state that because he's a holy man so in tune with God and he knows God's way is the COVID-19 vaccine? Or is it possible the Pope was kind of co-opted and was doing the bidding for a corporation, individuals, some other agenda? I don't know. I mean, you can just ask yourself the question, do you think God's way was the COVID-19 vaccine? Do you think that's what God wanted you to do? Maybe yes, maybe no. I'm a little bit of a no on that myself. I'm like, well, Pfizer definitely wanted me to. Politicians I don't trust definitely wanted me to. No one I do trust wanted me to. Okay, that's fun. Alex Soros, son of George Soros, had this to say: Pope Francis championed many causes at the heart of an open society. He was a leader and visionary who will be severely missed. So open society is the Soros, kind of like, we didn't do it, that's our company, NGO that did it. The Pope championed many causes that were near and dear to the heart of George Soros and his amazing son, Alex Soros. I think that's great. And then one Twitter user, I saw this, says this: He either has the gall or the open mind to say it. You be the judge. The Pope was not Catholic. He was a Babylonian telemundist placed in the position by the Rothschilds. His purpose was to destroy Christianity for Satan. He oversaw industrial pedophilia and the obliteration of family. Not godly at all. By the way, I don't have it pulled up, but I was watching a clip of this Pope kissing the hand of, I think it was John Rockefeller, Henry Kissinger, and David Rothschild. Might be getting the first names mixed up, but that's just fun. And I would dare ask this question: does the devil ever masquerade as an angel in disguise? So the devil can do evil disguised as a good person, as a good figure. And if that does happen, I happen to believe it does, do you have the awareness to recognize when the devil is masquerading as an angel in disguise? I'm just here asking questions, people. One thing I can't not comment on, you take a look at this. The Pope's in a wheelchair, got it. You could watch his hand, like his hand lifts, I mean, not even this far. JD Vance is looking at him as he's talking. That dude is doing the talking for the Pope. Cool. We're pretending to laugh at the Pope. The Pope is saying something there with the sound on, barely audible. And here's what I've heard nobody say. This really looks like the same thing they were doing with Biden. The guy is just not with it. And God love him. Like, people go through health challenges, old age and dementia, disease, incapacitations happened. Like, my heart aches for people like that. Like we saw with the Biden administration, like, how inhumane are you and how deceptive are you to parade this guy around like a puppet? You sit him in front of a world leader, he falls asleep, and everyone's just gaslighting everyone like, oh, dude, Biden, oh, he was sharp as a tack. He was just meditating involuntarily just then. But man, he's in charge, isn't he? The Pope really appears as though he was just not with it, hasn't been for a long time, yet they still push him around, plop him down Biden style, using him as a puppet, going through the motions. And then the question I have is, well, who's using him as a puppet? If he's like the head, who is pulling the puppet strings? And why are we pretending? Like, why are we going through the theatrics of pretending that he's with it? I don't like theatrics because it's deceptive. I like theatrics when it's consensual. I'm going to a play. I know it's a play. I know it's a theater. You're not trying to pass off the theatrics as reality. So I don't like going through those motions. It's deceptive. Why is it deceptive and who's behind it are questions I can't exactly answer. And I don't think I ever will. I don't even think I'm that interested to find the answers, but I'm suspicious. Exactly what they were doing with Biden, how is that not the case here? I mean, you just picture Biden at the whatever G7 summit. He's walking off into a field. They have to go get him. Or last Easter at the White House, the Easter bunnies having to tell Biden where to go. I don't know. So I've got questions. But in conclusion, did JD Vance kill the Pope? It doesn't look like it. But was the Pope part of a shadow organization with a deceptive, potentially nefarious agenda? I also don't know. But I do know, as a freedom-loving person who loves to do his free thinking, I am certainly compelled to ask the question.